tomorrow and Friday to work on them. And have you talked about political cartoons in here this week? Okay. Your grades are basically done, okay? There's, anything gonna make up a test in here? I think you're all good. So grades are basically set. With Friday being the first day of homecoming, the class batch day, I got a lot more stuff on me, so I thought if it would be okay with y'all that we forego doing a political cartoon this Friday. Now, if you would like to do one, because you know what your grade is right now, okay? I haven't gone and looked at them, but I know in my 7th period class that I have some students that are at like 68, 69s that haven't done their political cartoons regularly. So if you look at your grade, it's a 87, but it's like an 88 or an 89 or a 79 if you do an extra credit one. I can sort of help you, if that makes sense. But you do not have to. I think I posted this morning, so if you do one on Friday, I will put that as a small little extra credit, but you do not have to do a political cartoon this Friday. Same way with next week. No political cartoon next Friday, because next Friday is the day of the game, the ceremony. And if you think Mr. Roach is running around crazy today, tomorrow, and this Friday, you haven't seen nothing until you see you next Friday. Smile, Jordan, please. Okay. So that's just one less thing that I need to worry about, one less thing you need to worry about, because where do I want all of you to be on Thursday afternoon and night? We got 3 more corporation types to look at, and then, oh, here we go. Absences, not a lot of people out today. Cooper, Kubek, Ash, Smith, Booth, Blake, Perusich, Beal, Brown, and Saul. Although it says me too, but I'm only missing 7 pairs because I get to be with coaches today. I'm so good. All right, let's do this. It won't let me in. All right, this is what's her face, Lovers is just let me in. All right. They get a tax benefit. Okay. And here are some examples. I'll come back to it in a second. So, cooperatives. Think dentists. Think doctors. Okay. Think apartment buildings. Okay. The cooperative. You know the apartments on North Banana River Drive right next to Walmart, down there behind Hobbs Drugstore? That is the Merritt Island Cooperative Apartment Building, to where everybody lives there. They are part owners. And so they have a board of directors. Think of who lives in a condominium who lives in a neighborhood that has a homeowners association. Okay, yeah, Sunset. Why do I think you're living in Sunset Bay, Alice? That's not where you live, is it?
I live in Titusville.
I looked at you and I thought, where do you live?
I live in Titusville.
Oh, Titusville. Well, there are cooperative apartments up there. Why did I think you lived over there next to Walmart? Don't worry about it. So they get tax benefits because they are there helping a group of people. So you pay in, you make sure at the homeowners association that there are rules being met, everybody buys in, and if you break the rules, you can be fined. So a cooperative, I just need you to know the definition. Owned and operated by a group of individuals like doctors, dentists, people living in condominiums, homeowners associations, or apartment buildings. You do not have to join, but the benefits are more, and the best part of the benefits is you get tax
Right.
So there's 3 types. There's a consumer cooperative where they sell merchandise to members at reduced prices. Have you heard of Costco? Yes. Have you heard of BJ's? There's power in the numbers, and if you buy in bulk, the price goes. And of course, you have to have a membership card. So purchase large quantities, certain goods at lower cost, and then they pass the savings on to members. So Costco, BJ's, Sam's Club is an example of a consumer cooperative, okay? Small fee, Small amount of work over time. The next one is a service cooperative. They provide services rather than goods. Credit unions, ladies and gentlemen. There's the banking, the healthcare I was just talking about. Legal help, lawyers, Morgan & Morgan, for the people. He is a large company, but he is part of a cooperative. But I get some special rebates because I am a member, so my homeowner's loan, I refinance through them instead of one of the big companies. I'm getting it at 3% as opposed to going to the bank and getting it 3.3%. So credit unions are a great example of a cooperative that the people have joined together in the banking and they get a benefit. And then there's a producer cooperative. Those mainly deal with agricultural and farmers, okay? They allow farmers to focus on production with the burden of sales falling on the co-op. I see the question coming, what are the three, what is a cooperative? And what are the three examples? I can see the test question next week. So you know what a cooperative is. You know what a multinational corporation is. You know what the sole proprietorship is. And you know what the partnerships are. But now there are nonprofits. Institutions that function like businesses but do not function with the purpose of generating a profit. Hence the name nonprofit. They have no owner, instead they provide a benefit to the public. To the Brevard County Sharing Center, and then they have Santa come in, they do the Easter, money goes, when they come to do the food kitchen and everything like that, the kids are there, they get toys. So nonprofits, they kind of function like a business, but at a very low level, and their goal is not to make a buck. They are there for the community and to help others. And of course, the government says, thank you, A+ Thrift Store. Thank you, Brevard Sharing Center, for what you are doing. You get a break on your taxes. They do not charge sales tax. And the federal government actually pays some of their taxes for them at the local level to help them encourage. So nonprofits, anybody, the Heart Association, Easter Seals, think of all, Danny Thomas, okay? That's in the medical area, but I think the A+ and Brevard Sharing Center are two. Are there any others in Brevard County? Those are the ones I see all the time, A+ and Brevard Sharing Center. The ASPCA would be one. That's where you're going to animals right there. Yes, the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. So they take money in, but they are helping the kitty cats. They are helping the dogs. They are always accepting donations of food or litter or plush toys. And I think Ms. Nick, doesn't the Earth Club do a fundraiser for them?
Yeah. With the Ronald McDonald House now?
Exactly. Excellent. Ronald McDonald House, a perfect example right there. They are all around, but they don't make a big name for themselves. They don't advertise a lot because advertising costs money, and they don't have a lot. Now, there are some people that work and are on a payroll at A+. Class of 2010, Stephen Pack, graduated from Meriden High School. He is now a heart surgeon. His grandmother started A+ Thrift Store. His mom still works there. And Stephen gives donations. So if any of y'all wanted to do a donation at tax time to the A+ Thrift Store, to the Brevard County Sharing Center, like Aaliyah, you have, let's say you're an entrepreneur, you started your business, and you're making money, but it's now tax time. Federal government, Uncle Sam wants his money. You're trying to keep your money or have a roof. So what you're going to do is you're going to write a check to the ASPCA, to the A+ Thrift Store, and you're going to say, look, Uncle Sam, I made $1 million in my business, but I just wrote a $100,000 check to the A+ Thrift Store. And Uncle Sam says, thank you very much. You didn't make $1 million, you only made $900,000. So it helps you when we get to income taxes. That's going to be a great example right there. When you donate to a nonprofit, Uncle Sam wants to say thank you to you. So what does Mr. Roach do? I basically put you in my example right there, Aaliyah. I write a 10,000. Sorry, I've got to be careful when I start talking money, particularly when it's my money. I make a sizable donation to several nonprofits, okay? And A Plus Thrift Store is one of them. Habitat for Humanity is another one, okay? Anybody know hospice? Know what hospice is? Hospice? I make a very sizable donation to the Hospice Society for what they did when my grandmother passed away, and how they helped my family is something I really believe in. So anyway, nonprofits. The governmental organizations, don't really worry too much about this one right here. This is a half of one column and one page in the book. Don't worry about the government ones. Professional ones, we kind of talked about them. The NEA, they improve the image, working conditions, and skill levels. They keep their members up to date on industry trends. So these are more like unions right here. The National Education Association, all right? It's technically a union, and Mr. Roach belongs to the union, but the NEA is a nonprofit that is helping me understand what is going on in education circles. So don't worry too much about the professional organizations, business, I'm just kind of going through this real quick. The business, this is a good one, promote the collective business interest of a city or state. Please know the business organization nonprofit. Chambers of Commerce. Where's the Brevard County Chamber of Commerce located? Anybody know? Where's the Cocoa Beach Area Chamber of Commerce located? You know where Launch Federal Credit Union is, over here behind the mall? Right across the street. Cocoa Beach has a Chamber of Commerce that is a nonprofit that does advertising up in Michigan, Missouri, Maine, Come visit Cocoa Beach. Port Canaveral, Cape Canaveral has a Chamber of Commerce trying to drum up business. You know how you drive down 95 and there's all these billboards that say visit the Space Coast? Cocoa Beach. Now I don't mean Ron Johns, because Ron Johns has up there, what kind of company is Ron Johns? It's just a corporation. But you say, come visit Titusville. Well, that's not one. That's based on the city of Titusville. But the Cocoa Beach Area Chamber of Commerce, the Brevard County Chamber of Commerce, is putting ads in magazines. They are advertising in newspapers in New York. This is right. And now you pay some dues, and when they advertise, there's this nice little flyer. You're looking for pizza, you come to Ella's Pizzeria. So chambers of commerces are very important. The Better Business Bureau. So you had some people working for you, Ella, and you had to fire them because they weren't, towing the line. They're thinking about suing you for malpractice. So we have something called a Better Business Bureau that is making sure that you are following the lines, you're not breaking any laws. So know the BBB, know the Chamber of Commerce. Don't worry about trade associations. You're never going to be a part of it. All right, so really quickly, that takes you through nonprofits. There's a lot there, okay? The labor force, y'all are in the labor force, right? I think it kind of picks up now just a little bit. This is kind of important. Labor force, all non-military people who are employed or unemployed, okay? What does it mean to be employed? You have a job. Now, that's to us, employed, but the federal government is keeping track of this. It's a little more specific, very specific. You must work at least 1 hour a week, or work 15 plus hours without pay in a family business, okay? Or you have held a job but did not work because of an illness, going on vacation. This is the federal government's definition of employment. You worked 1 hour during the week, or you have worked 15 hours in a family business without getting paid. That's a sole proprietorship. Or you have held a job but did not work because you were in the hospital. That is the federal government's definition of employment. Now, unemployed people are actively seeking a new job, but they don't count. Are you looking for a job, or have you looked for a job in the past week? Yes?
Yeah.
You're now employed. All right, tracking, labor market. Who does it? This is a multiple choice question. How does the federal government keep track of the job percentages, unemployment levels? They use the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Thank goodness for computers, ladies and gentlemen. It reports how many people are in the labor force, how many are employed, how many are unemployed. So when Ella has to fire somebody, there are forms that have got to be filled out and turned into the federal government. When she fires Caleb, Mr. Cheshire that is, and I know that would never happen, you're now unemployed. You're not getting a paycheck. You want to get unemployment pay though, right? So you've got to go say, I, Caleb Cheshire, I worked last week, I was let go for whatever reason, and now I am unemployed. The federal government is tracking that. The number of men, the number of women. The federal government, because if you're running for re-election of president, you're running for governor or a county commissioner, you want employment to be up. And if unemployment is going down, what happens to your chances of getting elected? They go down. So remember how government and economics, have I mentioned that in government a couple times? They are tightly connected, ladies and gentlemen. And here's what the trends are, okay? In the 1950s, we had roughly 60% of Americans had a job. 59.2% is the number from your book. In 2013, it was 63.2% of Americans had a job, which meant 144 million people had jobs. The consumer was doing great. 76 million men, 68 million women in 2013. And then Donald Trump got elected, and what happened to employment? It kept going, but then what happened in 2019?
Down.
And unemployment was at almost 19%. What's happening to employment right now? It's starting to go up post-pandemic. So the labor force, 1950, that was after what event in world history? World War II. Did y'all have a history teacher that told you about the baby boom? And so all the workers came back and American society was flourishing. Everybody had a job. When Donald Trump, fast forward, Donald Trump, everybody who wanted to work had a job. How many times do you see a help wanted sign out on Merritt Island today? A lot. Why aren't the people? So there are jobs there. You know what our unemployment rate is right now? 12%. There are more jobs than people. They are begging you to start a job. Are they giving you, you hear about them giving bonuses? They are there. Why aren't the people taking them? That happened up until about 3 months ago. Exactly. Joe Biden said, we're going to help the American Rescue Plan. We're going to help the mom who has to stay home for the kid. So the government actually was paying people more money to stay home and not go get a job. But then Ron DeSantis, the states decide, federal government, state governments, the state says, we're not going to do that anymore. You've got to now go get a job. Well, that made Ron DeSantis look really bad. But the jobs are there, ladies and gentlemen. Do some of y'all need some technical proficiency?
Yeah.
Poor Chick-fil-A. Do you see where they're hiring 12 people? Well, that's what it says on the sign. Hiring 12 people. Why are they only hiring 12? They want people they want kids like you. They want workers like you. Why don't y'all go get the jobs? Now, granted, you gotta be at school. They want people that can help open up at 7 o'clock. They want people that will help keep the restaurant open. Jordan, are you there? You're at Chick-fil-A, right? Who works at Chick-fil-A in here? Yeah, we do. Tony, you work at Chick-fil-A? Yeah. Is that kind of true what I just said?
They will right now hire almost anyone.
And of course, you all have to be in school during the day, but they need people that will help open at 7 o'clock to keep the dining room open, if I remember correctly, right? When is the dining room open, 10?
Well, I work at the one inside the mall.
Oh, okay.
We're doing it at 10 o'clock.
So they open at 10 o'clock. Thank you very much, and there's a pass somewhere on my desk for. So there it is right there, so you're good, thank you, Robin. So, okay, you were the one inside the mall, I'm talking about the one outside. I go through the drive-through at 7 o'clock.
This is really off topic, but I have a source of strength.
Yes, I saw that email, you're more than, just leave, we need to go there, Alice, and thank you for doing that, I think that's awesome. I know Julia Chambers is there this afternoon, I think Riley is in the afternoon?
I don't know, I have to look at the list. But
No, I just know there's like 5 or 6 of you in the first part, so I think it's great what they're doing there. Anyway, unemployment, ladies and gentlemen, is something that's very important to y'all. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, we know month in and month out what the unemployment rate is. The number of African Americans. What happened to the job percentages of African Americans between the ages of 18 and 25 when Donald Trump was president? It went up. They were being employed. So they are tracking everything because everybody's paying attention. And here it is right here. Here's the labor market. Look at it, 2007, 4.6 unemployed. 2008, 5.8 unemployed. 2009, 9.6, 2013, and then 2020. So look what has happened to unemployed. Going up, going up, going up, and then boom, there's the pandemic right there.
what happened in 2009?
That was when President Obama was in, that was the Great Recession. Not the Great Depression, but the Great Recession, to where there was a lot of uncertainty on Wall Street. And what basically was happening is Ellis Fredericks goes and wants to take out a loan. He's got a nice job. You're making $150,000 a year, but you take out a loan for $3 million to put your kid through school, to add on to your house. And the bank says, here you go, you're a good risk because you have a job. Well, you've bitten off more than you can chew. And then when all of a sudden the stock market had a little hiccup right there, you can't pay off your debt, not to get anybody else, and we had a recession. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. But 2009 was really hard. And of course, George Bush, baby Bush, had been president for 8 years. And people said, wow, we don't want John McCain as the Republican because the Republicans got us in this mess. Let's go to Barack Obama. Let's change. And what did Barack Obama do? He said, let's give money to Ford Motor Company. Let's give money to Chase Banks. Let's give money, and that's what the government does. History, you learn a lot. Anyway, let's do this a little fun. Let's blow through this now. Changing economy. If you go back to 1776, when we first started, we were a nation of farmers. Okay? But then we had the Industrial Revolution in the 1900s. So in my American history class right now, I know Ella, we had last year, we talked about how the cities were growing, all these inventions, immigrants were coming in, and everybody wanted to come to the United States of God bless America. And you had some really rich men, Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie. America was great, and anybody who wanted a job got it. But then there were problems. There were unions, there were riots, there were walkouts, there were strikes. But then in the 20th century, technology comes back. Okay, the 1970s. I mean, look at the radio, TV in 1953, 1952. The technology boom that started in the 20th century with television and radio, and then in the 1980s, the computers, cell phones, okay, personal computers, and now by 2000s, over half of American workers used a computer on the job.